SeaWorld. The name says it all. More than 70% of the Earth's surface covered by water. In more than 50 years since this park opened its doors, it's become a center for zoological research.
And as every San Diegan knows, SeaWorld is way more than a water park. It's a place to explore the wonders of the undersea world and learn about the critical balance between humanity and nature.
Yeah, in the next 30 minutes, we are going to get a unique behind-the-scenes look at the lives of the trainers and the animals. We're also going to look at the future of the Orca program.
But first, let's take a look at the highlights of SeaWorld's first 50 years.
SeaWorld, a 70-acre family fun place.
My name's Al Garver. I'm the Vice President of Zoological Operations at SeaWorld in San Diego. I started working at SeaWorld in 1972, actually when I was still in high school. Back in the 70s, the park was a lot smaller, so a huge change in the number and variety of animals that we have to display and educate people about, as well as our techniques for caring with them.
Swim.
The killer whale shows have changed every 4 or 5 years over time, and generally it would reflect kind of the popular theme of the moment, and it would evolve, and each show would be a different iteration with more or less information about the animals in each show.
I'm Lindy Donahue. I have been here almost 17 years. We interact with the whales the same regardless of what the shows do. When we spend time with these whales, it's quality time. It's interacting with a best friend.
Are you keeping an eye on her? Yeah, you sure are.
Shows were a lot more basic. If you were to compare shows from 25 or 30 years ago to today, I think that you would see a lot more varied behavior from the killer whales. 30 years ago, the killer whales had a repertoire of 20 or 30 behaviors, and now they may have a repertoire of 150 different behaviors that trainers can choose from. And again, that's all part of keeping them mentally and physically challenged to just take good care of them. My favorite show over the years with the killer whales was the Shamu Adventure, which was in the early to mid-90s, I believe, and it had a Pacific Northwest theme to it and really talked about Northwest Native American ties to the killer whale and a lot about the Pacific Northwest populations of killer whales. And it was just a great show that was very informational as well as really entertaining for the public. One Ocean was really looking at how everything is tied together, and the idea that really there is one ocean and it supports all of the marine life and has a huge impact on all life on the different continents. So it had a conservation message as well as looking at the killer whale as a top-level predator within that environment and all of the things that can impact them as a result of how the oceans are changing.
One of the coolest parts of doing presentations and shows is that the whales are engaged and they want to be out there. And they've shown us that through the years. Where they jump and how they do their behaviors, that might change, but our care for them and our love, that's just ongoing.